if you start Shedeur in week 1?
I think he's going to say the same thing. The minute something goes wrong, why didn't you start Gabriel?
Right.
Feels like it's kind of lose-lose there for either guy if they start right away.
Dude, I mean, just starting a rookie is really risky. I just think it's going to be Flacco there.
Outside of being the number 1 pick, you mean, right? Or one of those top draft picks? Or
It's just you got to, if you're the Browns and if you're Stefanski, start Dylan Gabriel. Hey, he showed us he's got the most. He's shown us what we could see, what we saw on tape. He's confirmed it. It's all good.
Right.
And he's the one who goes out against the Cincinnati Bengals and doesn't perform well. What are you just gonna pull him? You got to give him starts. You got to give him start time.
Yeah. Same
thing with Shedeur, right?
Yeah, either guy.
Because if you start him 1 or 2 games and then you pull the rug out, like, what are you then going to go? We're gonna rotate quarterbacks. Now it looks like you don't have a plan. You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Either one, you've got to give the starter a month? Wouldn't you think?
Maybe more. Yeah, 8 weeks. Yeah.
You look at the Cleveland Browns schedule: home for Cincinnati, at Baltimore, home for Green Bay, at Detroit, Minnesota, in London.
It's a rough start.
At Pittsburgh.
It's a rough start.
That looks like Flacco territory to me while a kid marinates. Right? Home for Miami, at New England, bye, at the Jets. Now that, with all due respect to the teams that I just threw out there, appears to be a softer opportunity for a rookie, certainly with a bye week, to get in there. And then after that, home for Baltimore, at Vegas, home for San Francisco, home for Tennessee, at Chicago. Now you're getting into a spot where that could be if Flacco doesn't perform well, then you can move to that and tell your fan base, this is what we're attempting to do with our rookie. We're kicking tires prior to having, one would think, a higher draft choice. I think Flacco will perform well. I think we've seen what Flacco does in this offense. I think he and Stefanski are kind of lockstep. I think this is a better team, potentially, offensively, than the one that he had. If Jerry Jeudy is the number 1 that we saw last year with a whole host of quarterbacks. And I think the first 6 weeks is Flacco territory. What are you going to do? You're going to throw Dylan Brooks or Shedeur in the deep end of that pool to start? And if he doesn't perform well and it looks ugly, what are you going to pull him and then start the other rookie and then go to Joe? I don't know, man.
Can't do that.
I don't think so. Well, I mean, you can. I mean,
it wouldn't be wise.
Daniel Jeremiah is not fresh off the turnip truck here, you know? So he's got his ear to the ground, and he knows what a kid can do and potentially not do. I mean, that is a rough go of it the first 6 weeks, as well as, you know, a game that the whole country's going to watch in London week 5. You know? So that's why I think Flacco, those first 6 weeks, looks to me is somebody who's the adult in the room who basically said, you know, be an adult, act like an adult, right? And that looks like somebody who has grasp of an offense to the point where, okay, this is what we're going to do to start the ship here. And if we're 3-3 or 4-2, then let's stick with them. If we're 1-5, 2-4, then let's go with you were saying, and if you start Shedeur, and that's when your phone overheated. Tom, finish with your thought.
Yeah? I don't know exactly where he lost me, so let me say this.
Yes.
The hardest thing that the Browns can do is start one of the rookies, just because you're talking about guys who went in the 3rd and 5th round for a variety of different reasons, including the style of offense that they're coming from. You're talking about ramping them up, devoting enough reps to those guys through the course of the training camp and the preseason to feel comfortable with them, which are reps then you're not giving to the veterans here, and also trying to overcome the fact that in Shedeur Sanders' case, he comes in behind. just in terms of the type of offense, the way that they geared it toward him at Colorado, the number of negative plays that he had. We know he's very tough. He's very accurate. But you're talking about asking a guy to do things that he just didn't have to do at the college level. Dillon Gabriel, who they drafted 2 rounds before that, let's say Dillon Gabriel is the best quarterback coming out of training camp. Well, the moment Dillon Gabriel, trips up here, guess what's going to happen? People are going to be calling for Shedeur. If you go back to 2012, the Seahawks take Russell Wilson in the 3rd round. It was bumpy in the early portion of the season here, but what were they going to do? Bench Russell Wilson and put in Matt Flynn or Tavares Jackson? They didn't have the bright, shiny object there. And if you put Shedeur onto the field, are you really setting him up for success, knowing that there's a growth process that he needs to go through here? So I know that, there was news made of him getting a speeding ticket for going 101 miles an hour. What I've heard in terms of him being in the building has been all positive. They really like Shedeur. He works hard. He's got a good personality. All that stuff has been good. There are probably things, we talked about this, Rich, a lot before the draft, where, again, I'm not blaming this incident on anything else, but it's, the questions were about how is he going to do when he gets outside of the environment of having his dad there with him all the time? How is he going to do when there's different accountability structures here? He said all the right things. He's done the right things in the building. You'd like him to make better choices, obviously, off the field. Maybe this is just a very early kind of wake-up call that, hey, these things are going to happen. You can't do that, Rich, if you're any quarterback in particularly when you're a 5th-round pick, who, if your name weren't Shedeur Sanders, would be going, is that guy even going to make the team? I don't think that's going to influence the decision here. It's something that I'm sure they've addressed internally, but it's all part of the growth process he's got to go through here. I would say it's wide open. There is no decision made in Cleveland. It could go a lot of different directions. If Shedeur is the best quarterback by far in training camp, could he be the starter week 1? Sure. I would just say it's the hardest thing. It's the hardest option of the options the Browns have.
One other thing to mention here, again, I don't know. Shedeur Sanders popped for driving 101 in a 60-mile-an-hour zone just shy of 1 a.m. in Ohio. Listen, he knows better. He knows better, because this could be just one of those youthful things, and we can talk it off. And, it's just, it's 20 to 1 in the morning. He was sober. He wasn't doing anything stupid other than just speeding, and he got popped. It's just anything that isn't him spinning it, whether it's on air and 7-on-7 or 11-on-11, anything that takes the conversation away from football is bad for him. And anything that he provides in that department to give anybody